Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Mr. Jobs English podcast. We're really happy to have you here with us today. I'm Mia, your Canadian friend who loves practical English, and as always, I'm here with...
Your American buddy James, ready to jump into another profession with real vocabulary that people actually use at work. And today's profession is one that keeps companies, offices, teams, and even entire schedules alive: the secretary.
Yes, the secretary or administrative assistant, depending on the company, is basically the heartbeat of the office. They're the ones who keep everything moving. And I've actually met amazing secretaries who are like superheroes, juggling phones, calendars, documents, and 10 different people asking for help at the same time.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great word to start with already: to juggle. In English, when a secretary juggles tasks, it doesn't mean they're throwing balls in the air. It means they're handling many tasks at the same time, multitasking.
And multitasking is definitely part of the job. Secretaries answer phone calls, send emails, schedule meetings, organize documents, greet visitors, coordinate calendars, track deadlines. It's a whole universe of responsibilities.
That brings us to one of the most important words in this profession: schedule. A schedule is basically a plan for when things happen: meetings, appointments, deadlines, calls.
And we also have to schedule, which means to arrange or plan something at a specific time. For example, can you schedule a meeting with the manager at 3 p.m.? Secretaries hear that all day.
And along with scheduling, there's rescheduling, which everyone loves. A rescheduling is when you change the time or the date of something.
Another essential word for the secretary's world is appointment. An appointment is a planned meeting, especially with clients or visitors. Do you have an appointment is something secretaries ask all the time.
And something connected to that is agenda. An agenda is a list of things that will be discussed in a meeting. Secretaries often prepare agendas for managers.
Exactly. And there's also minutes, another important administrative term. Minutes are written notes that summarize what happened in a meeting. Topics discussed, decisions made, tasks assigned.
Minutes are super important because they help teams remember what was decided. And secretaries often take minutes during meetings.
Another word secretaries deal with every day is correspondence. Emails, letters, messages, memos. And a memo is a short written message used inside a company.
Oh, memos. They're like the ancestors of email.
True. Another thing secretaries manage is filing. Filing means organizing documents in folders so they can be found easily. Some companies still use physical files, and others use digital systems.
And that introduces the word archive, which means to store old documents that are not used every day, but still need to be saved.
And before archiving documents, secretaries often need to proofread them, reading carefully to check for mistakes in grammar, spelling, or formatting.
Proofreading is a super useful word, and it's something everyone should do more often.
Another big part of the secretary's job is customer service. They greet visitors, answer questions, and guide people to the right department.
And that leads to another important word, which is reception. The reception is the area where visitors arrive, and the person working there can be called a receptionist, which is actually a specialization inside the secretary field.
Right, and one of the classic tools at reception is the switchboard. It used to be a big panel to connect phone calls, but today it usually refers to the main phone line with options and extensions.
Extensions. That's another good word. An extension is a short internal phone number inside a company. Instead of calling someone's personal phone, you dial their extension.
And if someone isn't available, the secretary might say, "He's not available at the moment. Would you like to leave a message?"
Secretaries are masters at communication. They know how to speak politely, clearly, and efficiently. They use expressions like, "How may I assist you?" "One moment, please," and "I'll transfer your call."
And to transfer a call means sending the phone call to another person or department.
Speaking of departments, another vocabulary word is administrative support, the general help that secretaries provide to different areas of the company.
And they also do data entry, which means typing and updating information into systems.
And spreadsheets. Secretaries often work with spreadsheets to organize numbers and information. That's why knowing at least basic Excel is very common in this job.
Something else they handle is invoices, documents related to payments. And sometimes they help with billing, which is preparing or sending bills.
And they often deal with supplies, pens, paper, toner, notebooks, everything the office needs. When something runs out, they order more.
And this brings us to inventory, another word secretaries might use. Inventory is a list or count of items in stock, office supplies, equipment.
And they also manage appointments, travel arrangements, reservations, and logistics. I mean, the job is huge.
Speaking of travel arrangements, the word itinerary is important. Itinerary is the plan for a trip, where someone will go, what time, which hotel, which flight.
And now I think it's the perfect time to jump into our mini story.
Yes, something natural, something that actually happens to secretaries all the time.
So imagine this. There's an office secretary named Laura. She arrives at work at 8 a.m., and before she even sits down, someone asks, "Can you schedule a call with the finance team?" She opens her calendar, quickly checks availability, and schedules the meeting.
And while she schedules that, the phone rings. She answers professionally, "Good morning. Thank you for calling Bright Solutions. How may I assist you?" It's a client asking to reschedule an appointment.
Then 2 minutes later, a coworker comes in asking, "Hey Laura, can you print the agenda for my meeting?" She prints it, hands it over, and before she breathes, her manager asks her to prepare minutes from yesterday's meeting.
And it keeps going.
Right?
The delivery guy arrives with a box of office supplies. She signs the delivery form, checks the inventory, and updates the supply list.
But here comes the fun part. During the morning, she notices the CEO's calendar shows 2 meetings scheduled at the exact same time. That's a conflict.
Yes, and conflict is another great word. A schedule conflict happens when two things overlap.
So Laura has to fix it. She calls one of the departments, finds a new time, updates the schedule, and sends a polite email informing everyone about the change.
And while she's doing that, the printer stops working. Again.
Of course it does. So she calls IT and says, "We have a printer issue. It keeps jamming." And jamming means the paper gets stuck inside.
And finally, at around 11 a.m., she sits down to drink her coffee. But then the phone rings again.
That's the life of a secretary. Constant movement, communication, organization, and a super sharp mind.
And the vocab in this small story is extremely common in the daily routine. Let's highlight a few naturally as we talk.
Minutes, schedule, reschedule, agenda, appointment, supplies, itinerary, inventory, extension, transfer a call, proofread, conflict, correspondence.
These are essential, and they appear in every office environment, not just secretary jobs.
Something else we didn't mention yet is follow-up. Secretaries do follow-up on tasks, meaning they check the progress of something or remind someone to do something.
And deadline. That's a big one. A deadline is the final date for completing something. Secretaries track deadlines for reports, documents, meetings, and tasks.
And they use reminders, digital or written, to stay organized.
Something interesting is that the role of a secretary varies a bit between Canada and the US. Nothing major, but in Canada, the term administrative assistant is more common and sometimes includes more responsibility related to coordination and documents.
And in the US, there's a wider range of titles like office assistant, executive assistant, receptionist, office manager, depending on the level of responsibility.
But the core skills remain the same: communication, organization, responsibility, customer service, and ability to multitask.
And English is critical in all of this because so much of the job depends on communication: emails, calls, meetings, messages, documents.
And I think we've already created a strong vocabulary foundation for this episode. The best part is that everything we said is practical and useful.
Totally. And the more listeners hear these words inside real conversations, the easier it becomes to use them naturally.
So let's keep going in the next part of our conversation. I'm excited because we're going to bring even more vocabulary related to executive assistants and higher level administrative responsibilities.
Yes, and also some realistic mistakes people make in offices, and how secretaries save the day.
I love that. Let's keep going from there. You know, James, sometimes when I think about how much a secretary actually does, I feel like they're the real power behind an office.
Oh, absolutely. Secretaries keep everything running. Without them, the office collapses like a stack of paper someone bumped into. And trust me, I've knocked over a stack or two in my life.
I believe that. But seriously, a secretary's work is so much bigger than people imagine. They manage schedules, communication, appointments, reports, office supplies, and even the office mood sometimes.
Exactly. And speaking of schedules, that word is important. Schedule is basically the plan of times for meetings, tasks, and events. Secretaries often schedule meetings, which means they arrange the time and day. And they also reschedule meetings when someone can't attend.
Yes, an appointment is another big one. An appointment can be with a client, a doctor, a partner, you name it. Secretaries are the ones who confirm appointments, cancel appointments, and remind people before an appointment happens.
Reminder. That's another useful vocabulary word. A reminder is something that helps you remember something important later. Secretaries send email reminders or call reminders. Sometimes they leave sticky notes. I personally love sticky notes.
You do. I've seen your laptop. It looks like a rainbow exploded on it.
Organization is colorful. But speaking of organization, the word filing is key. Filing means placing documents in the correct folders or systems so they can be found later. In modern offices, a secretary may do digital filing instead of physical filing.
And digital filing requires using folders on computers, naming files correctly, saving versions. Secretaries are often the ones who keep all of the digital information clean and easy to find. It's a type of behind-the-scenes work that makes everything easier for everyone else.
Another important expression is taking messages. This means writing down information when someone calls and the person they want is not available. Good secretaries take messages with all the important details.
Exactly. The caller's name, the reason for the call, the best time to call back, and they usually pass the message on through email or a quick note. Accuracy is everything.
And let's talk about professional tone. Secretaries excel at this. The professional tone is the polite, clear way you speak or write in a work environment. Secretaries master phrases like, "How may I help you?" "Let me check that for you," and "I'll get back to you as soon as possible."
That last one is great. I'll get back to you. It means I will contact you again with more information. Secretaries use it all the time.
And they manage incoming and outgoing mail. That means mail that arrives and mail that leaves the office. Today, most mail is digital, but secretaries still coordinate packages and deliveries too.
You know what else they do? They support managers. The manager might say, please prepare a report or please organize this meeting, and the secretary prepares everything. That brings us to the word prepare, which means to get something ready ahead of time.
And documentation. Documentation is the collection of materials like forms, reports, spreadsheets, instructions. Secretaries prepare documentation so the team has everything they need.
And they often take meeting minutes. This is really important vocabulary. Meeting minutes are notes that describe what happened in a meeting. It includes who attended, what decisions were made, and any action points.
Action points, that's one of my favorites. An action point is a task that someone needs to do after the meeting. Secretaries often track these. Tracking means monitoring or following the progress of something.
Yes. For example, if the manager says, follow up with the supplier, The secretary tracks whether that follow-up happened. Follow-up means to check on something or continue communication later.
And they communicate with everyone: employees, clients, partners, suppliers, visitors. The word visitor is someone who comes to the office. Secretaries greet visitors, which means they welcome them when they arrive.
And they do this with confidence. Confidence is key. Secretaries often become the face of the office, the first voice on the phone, the first person people see. It's a role that requires warmth and professionalism at the same time.
Do you know what's something interesting? When I worked in my early 20s, there was a secretary named Karen who practically saved the office.
Oh, tell me. This sounds like a story already.
It is. So Karen worked at a small marketing company in Chicago. She was the queen of organization. One day, a big client called at 8:30 in the morning asking for a presentation that the manager completely forgot to prepare. Everyone panicked.
Oh no. Classic.
And while everyone ran around trying to find documents, Karen stayed calm, like super calm. She opened her calendar, checked previous emails, searched through her folders, and found the client's information. Then she took the initiative, a great word which means to act without waiting to be told.
Nice vocabulary moment right there.
Thanks. So Karen quickly created a small summary of the project, organized a few key files, and printed the materials the manager needed. When he arrived, completely unprepared, Karen handed him everything and simply said, "Your presentation is ready."
No way. She saved him.
She did. The client was impressed, the manager survived the embarrassment, and everyone realized the real hero that day was the secretary.
That sounds extremely accurate to real life. Secretaries rescue chaos all the time. My aunt used to work as a secretary in Vancouver, and she always said, if the office is calm, it's because I'm working hard behind the scenes.
That's so true. And Vancouver offices are especially busy, right?
Oh, busy and rainy. But yes, she used to talk about how important time management is. Time management means organizing your time so you can finish tasks on time. Secretaries have to master it.
They also handle office supplies. Office supplies are things like pens, paper, staplers, printer ink, notepads. They check what's missing, order new supplies, and make sure the office never runs out.
And speaking of ordering, the verb order also means to request something from a supplier. So a secretary might say, I need to order more printer ink today.
And they sometimes prepare travel arrangements. This includes booking flights, hotels, transportation, and preparing itineraries. Itineraries are schedules for trips.
A secretary who handles travel arrangements needs to be detail-oriented. That means paying attention to every small detail: flight numbers, check-in times, hotel confirmations. One mistake can ruin a trip.
And detail-oriented people are the best in office jobs. Secretaries catch mistakes before they become problems.
So true. And you know what else is common? Handling phone calls in a polite and efficient way. They transfer calls, that means moving the call from one person to another. They also put callers on hold, which means asking them to wait for a moment.
"Please hold for a moment" is a classic line. And transferring calls is like the art of being smooth and fast.
Exactly. And let's not forget the word deadline. A deadline is the final time by which something must be finished. Secretaries track deadlines, remind managers of deadlines, and sometimes help prepare documents or right before the deadline hits.
And honestly, they often prevent disasters.
True. Another expression is proofreading. Secretaries often proofread emails or documents. Proofreading means checking for errors in spelling, grammar, and clarity.
I need a secretary just for proofreading my text messages.
I can confirm that. I've seen your texts. But seriously, proofreading is essential in business communication. A secretary who can proofread well is a treasure.
Absolutely. And one more important phrase: Coordinate. This means organizing several things so they work together smoothly. Secretaries coordinate schedules, coordinate events, coordinate communication. They're the coordinators of everything.
And they do it with patience. Patience is key in this job. 1 minute the phone rings, the next minute someone needs help with a document, then there's a meeting starting, and maybe someone needs visitor badges at the same time.
Visitor badges, that's another one. Those small cards that identify who is visiting the office.
Exactly. Secretaries prepare them or keep them organized. So vocabulary everywhere. But what I love most is how this profession combines communication, organization, and empathy. Secretaries really make an office feel human.
And that's why learning these words helps English students sound more confident. When you understand the vocabulary of a job, you understand the world of that job.
Well said. And since we're already deep into the daily responsibilities, maybe we should bring a natural example of a typical morning for a secretary, just to make everything clear.
Yes, absolutely. A real-life flow helps listeners imagine the job better.
So imagine this. It's 8 a.m. The secretary arrives a bit earlier than everyone else. They turn on the computer, check emails, see if there are any urgent messages.
They look at the meetings for the day, prepare documents or print materials if needed.
They confirm appointments, answer early phone calls, greet the first visitors.
And all before coffee.
Right. And then the rest of the day continues with tasks appearing suddenly. It's dynamic, fast, and full of interaction.
What makes the job perfect for someone who enjoys communication and multitasking?
Multitasking means doing several things at the same time. Secretaries multitask constantly.
And they still stay calm. That's the magical part.
Exactly. They bring order to the chaos. And that's what makes the profession so important.
And we're just getting warmed up. There's still so much more we can talk about in this world of office life and secretarial skills.
Oh, yes. And I already have a few more vocabulary points and examples in mind that will fit perfectly into our conversation next.
Same here. This profession is full of rich, practical English, and we have more to explore without losing the natural flow.
You know, James, when we talk about secretaries, I always think about how much emotional intelligence the job demands. Honestly, more than many people realize.
Oh, definitely. Emotional intelligence, being able to understand people, their feelings, their tone, their stress, it's a huge part of the job. And secretaries read people like absolute pros.
Exactly. They notice when someone is stressed, when someone needs help, when someone is confused. They adapt their communication instantly. And the vocabulary behind that is interesting too. Words like assist, which means to help, support, which means to give help over time, and clarify, which means to explain something more clearly.
Clarify is so good. Secretaries clarify instructions, clarify schedules, clarify mistakes, and they do it calmly. That's what impresses me the most.
I admire that too. And speaking of clarity, email writing is a huge part of their routine. They write emails with polite expressions like, "Please see attached," "Let me know if you have any questions," and "Thank you for your cooperation."
That last one is so professional. Thank you for your cooperation basically means thanks for working with me on this. Secretaries use phrases like that to keep communication smooth and respectful.
And another typical email expression is "as soon as possible," which means to do something quickly when you can. It's often shortened to ASAP. Secretaries hear this word more times per day than coffee machine noises.
True. And sometimes they're the ones asking others to do things ASAP. Politely, of course. That's where tone matters again.
Something else I find fascinating. Secretaries are often responsible for organizing meetings from start to finish. And organizing a meeting means more than just choosing a time. It includes booking the meeting room, preparing the agenda, checking who will attend, printing documents, setting up the projector, connecting the laptop, everything.
You know what's a good word there? Agenda. It's not like the agenda meaning political goals. In office vocabulary, an agenda is the list of topics that will be discussed in the meeting.
Yes, and attendees are the people who participate in the meeting. Secretaries prepare the list of attendees, send reminders, help everyone stay on track.
And they often have to follow up with people after the meeting, asking for updates on tasks. Following up is checking progress later. It's a super useful verb that everyone in business needs.
For sure. And sometimes they prepare presentations or at least help with formatting. Formatting means adjusting the layout, the fonts, the alignment, the spacing.
And they work with software like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, email clients, calendars. They're like quiet tech experts.
Yes. And learners should also understand the term spreadsheet, which is a document with rows and columns, usually used for numbers, lists, or organization. Secretaries often update spreadsheets during the week.
Updating, good word. Update means to bring something to the most recent version. Updating spreadsheets, updating calendars, updating contact lists.
Speaking of contact lists, maintaining a contact database is common too. A contact database is a list of phone numbers, emails, names, and information about clients or partners. Keeping it accurate is essential.
And accuracy, yes, another great word. Accuracy means being correct and precise. Secretaries must be accurate because a small mistake can cause big problems.
Like writing the wrong date for an appointment or sending an email to the wrong person.
Or booking a flight for the wrong week.
That would be terrible. But secretaries usually catch mistakes before they happen. That's the magic.
You know, Mia, something I think listeners will appreciate is a more complete example of a full day. Not only the morning, like we talked about, but a whole real flow of tasks.
I think that's a great idea. It makes everything more concrete. Why don't we walk through a typical day?
Perfect. So picture this. The secretary arrives early, checks emails, updates the calendar, reviews the meetings for the day.
And then someone from the team arrives asking if she can print some last-minute documents before a meeting.
And right when she finishes that, the phone rings. It's a client asking to speak with the manager, but the manager is in a meeting.
So she takes a message or transfers the call to another department if needed. After that, she sees an email about a package arriving soon and someone needs to sign for it.
Then the manager asks her to prepare the meeting room, check the projector, put water on the table, make sure the chairs are organized.
And while she's doing that, someone from accounting asks if she can help find a document from last month. That's where the filing skills come in.
A little later, a visitor arrives. She greets them, prepares the visitor badge, calls the employee who will receive them.
And maybe during lunchtime, she helps coordinate travel arrangements for the next week, flights, hotel confirmations.
And then after lunch, she reviews the meeting minutes from the morning meeting, organizes the action points, and sends them to the team.
And then the manager asks her to proofread an important email because he wants to send it to a partner abroad.
The day continues like that, with small tasks appearing and disappearing like waves. It's dynamic, and it requires a lot of adaptability.
Adaptability means being able to adjust quickly when things change. Secretaries are experts at that.
And they multitask constantly, answering emails while receiving packages, helping coworkers, taking calls, checking schedules. It's impressive.
And through all of this, they maintain professionalism. That word professionalism means behaving in a responsible, respectful, and organized way at work.
They're the calm in the storm.
Yes. And this is why this profession is such a great opportunity to learn English, because it mixes vocabulary from communication, organization, technology, customer service. It's a complete package.
And for learners from different countries, it's super practical. Many people already perform similar tasks, even if their job title isn't secretary.
Exactly. These skills exist everywhere. Schools, hospitals, shops, construction companies, government offices. There's always someone doing this important administrative work.
Another interesting point is how secretaries often interact with international teams. They write emails to people in different countries, talk to clients with different accents.
Yes, and that's why clear English helps a lot. Standard expressions help avoid misunderstandings, like, please confirm. Could you send me the details? And I will check and let you know.
And let me know means tell me. It's super common.
One of my favorites is, I appreciate your help. It's polite and warm.
And warm communication is something secretaries do really well.
Speaking of warmth, I'm thinking about another small example we can give listeners, something more personal. Do you have a memory of someone in a secretary role that impressed you?
Actually, yes. When I was working in Seattle, there was a secretary named Brooke who managed the entire office like a conductor leading an orchestra.
I love that image.
She coordinated everything, meetings, deliveries, reports, client calls. But the moment I'll never forget is when she prevented a huge miscommunication. A partner company thought a meeting was happening online, but our office thought it was in person.
Oh, that could have gone badly.
It could have, but Brooke noticed a detail in an email, just one sentence, that didn't match the schedule. She followed up immediately and discovered the confusion. She saved both companies from embarrassment.
That's exactly what I mean when I say secretaries bring order to chaos, and they do it with grace.
Grace is a great word. It means doing something smoothly and elegantly.
Yes, and many secretaries are the center of calm energy in an office. People go to them for help, for answers, for direction.
And they're always willing to help, even when their own to-do list is full.
To-do list, another perfect word. A to-do list is the list of tasks you have to complete.
Secretaries manage huge to-do lists every single day, and somehow they always make it look easy.
Which brings us to a final message for learners. Understanding this vocabulary not only helps you in an office job, but it also helps in daily life.
Yes, scheduling, organizing, clarifying, supporting, these skills apply everywhere.
And vocabulary grows naturally when you imagine real moments and real people doing these tasks.
And we hope today's conversation helped you imagine all of that in a clear, simple way.
We love helping you learn English through real professions, and secretaries truly deserve recognition.
They really do. And we appreciate every listener who joined us today.
Many people are already performing similar tasks, even if their job title isn't secretary.
Exactly. These skills exist everywhere: schools, hospitals, shops, construction companies, government offices. There's always someone doing this important administrative work.
If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the podcast, hit the like button, and tell us in the comments which profession you want us to talk about next.
And thank you for spending your time with us. It means a lot.
Take care, everyone.
See you next time.